Welcome to At Home with Music. I'm coming to you from my sister's backyard in sunny Southern California. I've been enjoying spending some time with my dad, and one viewer asked me, can you put him on camera again? And so that's what I'm going to do in this video. I wanted him to talk a little bit about his experiences with music and some of the people that he listened to growing up, some of the music that he got to play, and just how much music means to him. So I'm going to turn the rest of this video over to my dad.
Well, first let me introduce myself. My name is Albert, better known as Leon's dad. I had my own identity for many years until he got popular, and then everybody knew me as Leon's dad. But I'm still Albert. I'm 95 years old, coming up on 96. That's a long time. You seniors out there that are up in your 80s and stuff, you're just the kids. But I grew up in a house where music was always there. And it mostly was Spanish music. It was always Spanish guitars and people singing and yay and the cucaracha and everything. And the rhythm was there. In my heart, the music was there. The rhythm and the beat and the sound, I loved it. And you just could listen to it all day. We never had musical instruments in our house because we come from a very poor neighborhood and new family, but there was 5 big brothers. I was the 6th boy, and I had 2 younger sisters. And my father, apparently that was too much for him, so he left. But that's okay. We took care of my mom all of her life and whenever it was necessary then. But we always had music. We had radio. Didn't have any TV when I was growing up. There was no such thing as far as we knew. But we had an old Philco. And my brother and I used to lay there and listen to music and listen to our stories of you. A lot of you people remember Mr. District Attorney and The Shadow. And oh man, the Lone Ranger, remember all those things? But they were all accompanied by music. And we remember the background. Finally, somebody gave my mother a piano. And in Spanish, she wanted to know why. The lady said, I can't have it in my house because it stinks. So we took it home, and my mother said, oh, terrible smell. So Leonard and we started taking the piano apart. And underneath the keyboard, we found a dead rat. Oh, we cleaned it up, and we used, at that time, Bon Ami, Dutch Cleanser. You remember those. And we put it back together. And nobody played the piano, but I would sit there and just stomp the bass notes, just for the rhythm. And then pick out some melodies with my right fingers. Just 9, 10 years old, and I loved it. Well, that continued, but my basic love was for the drums, was for the sound that you could get. And I grew up with my heroes, Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa. These were guys that just had drums, maybe a tom-tom, a hi-hat, and a ride cymbal. Not today. I look at these drummers and they got 1,800 drums around them. They're playing so loud. They use up 45 sticks because they're breaking everything. They don't know what brushes are. And I said, what in the world? And half of them are deaf because it's crazy. You know, when I grew up and I got into junior high and high school, and all the popular singers, this was during the war years. And we used to listen to Frank Sinatra and all the people screaming. Well, he had a nice voice. But we also had Billy Eckstine. We had Mon Monroe. We had Kate Kaiser in his College of Musical Knowledge, which was a radio show. And his main singer was a guy called Ishka Bibble. Maybe some of you remember him. I do. And then we had all the lady singers, you know, Helen O'Connell. And we all got tears in our eyes when Kate Smith sang God Bless America. You remember that too, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And then during the war, we heard songs like coming in on a wing and a prayer, because the Sky Pilot said it, you know, and you got to give him credit, because a son of a gun pilot was he. And then White Cliffs of Dover, had all these World War II tunes, and we listened to the radio and we heard them all. There was no such thing as TV. We still didn't have it, but we grew up listening to them. And listening, the big bands came in. Glenn Miller, Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey. A great guitarist played the sit-down guitar, like the Cowboys do. Albino Ray. And our favorite program on New Year's was listening to Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians. You remember that? Oh,
Yeah.
it was sweet. That's all we used to listen to. And then we heard other big bands coming on, and it was just something that was so you could sing to the tunes. No, in junior, at ninth grade, they came out with a book. All it had was all the words to all the popular tunes. And man, we take that book and we memorized every song. So when it came on radio, now radio was a different thing in the car. You turned it on and a little light came on. You had to wait 15 minutes before you could get a program, for everything to warm up. It wasn't not instant. There was no instant food. There was no instant radio. There was instant nothing. You had to wait. But we memorized all these tunes so that when we had our girlfriends and the song came on, we could sing to them like we were really good. Most of us stunk, but we were really good guys. And in the high school, my mother somehow scraped some money to buy me an old set of drums. I mean, they were old set of drums. They had coconuts. And in the old musical days, they used a lot of coconuts. And I don't know why. And then they had a cowbell. And they had a big ride cymbal. And the cymbals were almost like pie plates. They didn't have the Zondermans now and $150 for a little teeny ride cymbal or something. But they were mine. And I played them. I could not read. People would hand me, can you read music? Yeah, but not. All I knew was there was a 4/4 beat or a 2/2 beat or a 3/4. And anything that we had, he had one of those three. There was nothing that went all over the scale, nothing that was offbeat, nothing crazy stuff, syncopated, but the Latin beat, the sambas, the mambos. I played those. Famous piano player was Carmen Caballero. He played a real wow piano. And when we got to listen to good classical music, we listened to Eddie Duchin. He only played at the Waldorf Astoria in New York. And all these guys had half-hour programs, and we listened to all of them. And that was our music background. That was our foundation. And the guys we hung around with, some played piano, and we'd get together and we'd play chords on the guitar, and I'd be strumming along. But I played with brushes. They were still made out of steel, but they were like wires, but they were soft, and you could slide. You could play a nice rhythm with them, and that's all I used for years, and I still do when I play. But oh man, I played in the big bands in high school. We had about 14 of us. And we had some girls who were playing saxophone. They were good. And we had a trombone player and a couple of guitars. And I played drums. And for bass, we had the big bull fiddle. We had a guy that stomped on that bull fiddle, man. He plucked them big old strings. They were about an inch and a half thick. And once in a while, he'd say, "El, come on." And I'd come over there with my drumsticks. And he'd be playing that. And I would drum on what he was playing, and we'd whistle. And you seniors out there remember this song, "The Big Noise from Winnetka"? Of course you do. And you're whistling it to yourself right now. If I could, I don't have the capacity to whistle anymore, but I sure can think about it. And we do that. That was our fun time. And after I went into the military, and I never played much music, but I would go to places in New York and Chicago and Detroit, and I'd go find these little out-of-the-way joints where they had these little combos, and I'd go sit by them and listen to the drummer. And usually it was a drummer, piano player, and a guitar. And I'd hear these guys, and the drummer would look down and say, "Hey, man, you drum?" I'd say, "Yes." "Want to set in?" "Oh, do I ever." And I would get to sit in for maybe 3 or 4 sets. And they said, "You okay, boy? You can be okay. Just stay with it." And I did. up until till today. And I just grew up knowing, and when I got out of the service and got married to Leon's mother, who was I thought I knew some music, but this woman knew everything. Now, this is where Leon got his smarts from. He got the rhythm from me, but he got the smarts from his mama. Because she knew classical. She loved Tennessee Ernie Ford. She loved these cowboy guys. So I got to loving this kind of music. I liked it, but I never paid much attention. Classical music, she trained Liam to be he was a classical player. That's what he wanted to be. And he knew everything. We used to call him Mendelssohn. We shorted to Mendel because it's all, anyway, when he got to the point where he could play and read music really good, probably in high school, I sat at my drums by this big piano that he got as a scholarship. Hey, this guy came rolling up to our house with a $30,000 grand piano. It was a Nabi, wasn't it?
Kanabi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said, this is a gift from the Rotary Club. Because he went up and played 45 minutes of Chopin for them. And they were blown away. So they gave him this piano. Whoa. And he would play, and I bought him a Reader's Digest book that had all these old songs in it. And we played the 200 songs, and we knew them all. And we would sit there, and our house was situated above, and a big lawn in the front, and across the street from the park. And Leon would be playing, and I'd be playing along. Pretty soon we'd look out there, and all these people sitting on our front lawn. We'd open the windows, and they'd hear these concerts, But that's the way our life was. It was music full all the time. It was a priority in our home. And my children, all 8 of them, learned an instrument. I said, I don't care if you like it. You're going to take 1 year of this. If you don't, all I want you to know that you'll be able to read music when you sing, and you will understand it. But they all, my daughter played the clarinet. My son Bert, he played the guitar and the clarinet. Gus played the guitar. Jessica, she started playing the piccolo, but she found out that the flute. She started playing the flute, but she found out she couldn't talk while she played it, so she quit. But that's okay. And my daughter B, I taught her the drums, and she turned out to be a great drummer. And then she could whip it with anybody. But she also learned to play the slow ones and to appreciate music and to love the music the way we do now. And I'm sure Leon told you this, that somebody asked me, what do you want for your 95th birthday? I said, what I want, I'm going to buy for myself. And I did. I bought me a brand new set of drums. I got the bass, I got 4 tom-toms, I got good hi-hats and good ride cymbals, but they're mine. And in my front room behind me, I have a keyboard, an electronic keyboard, that Leon plays for me while he's been here, keep an eye on me. And listen, I lost my sight about 4 years ago, but I still have my hearing. I hear the VA has given me some earphones or whatever, hearing aids. I could hear a pin drop down the corner. But now I hear music, and I hear it to its fullest depth. I listen to it, and I listen to all of these songs, and it's just that I still have this great love. And I can't listen to a tune without stomping my feet if it's a 4/4 or 2/2. So I just want you to know that I'm coming up on 96, and I'm still hanging in there with the music. And I'm so proud of my son for what he's doing, and how much he knows, and how humble he is about it. And my other kids are so proud of their brother because of what he's doing. There's no animosity, no jealousy. It's pure joy. But thank you for listening to me. Leon, thank you for allowing me to be the star of the show for just a few minutes. And thank you, all you people out there. And God bless you, and have a good life. Thank you.
Thanks, Dad. Thank you for watching. I'm sure you can tell that my dad is a pretty special person. I'm so grateful that he is still with us. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those in the comment section. You can support my work by going to my Patreon page. The link is in the description. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That helps the channel a lot. So next time you see me, I'll be back in the mountains of Western North Carolina. Thank you for watching. I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.